So today, we're going to be doing a standard annealing of low-carbon steel. In order to do this, we need to program the furnace to heat up to 930 Celsius in an hour, keep it there for 3 hours, step it down to room temperature, and let it cool for 5 hours. So, before any operation, we need to make sure that the cold water supply is in the on position. To set it to manual usage, let's toggle this to manual and hold this button here until hold and run both turn off. So now we're in the main menu for the furnace, and we can scroll through these menus to edit or run programs by pressing this menu button here. That essentially just looks like a piece of paper with its corner folded over. So here's all the different menu options, but because we want to make a program, we're just going to scroll it to the program list tab. So to confirm that we want to go into this menu, we're going to press this counterclockwise arrow. It's essentially the confirm button. And we're going to use these arrow keys here to show that we want to edit program 1. So now that we're in a subsection, we're pretty much just going to scroll through this menu. So these subsections loop through, so if you accidentally make a mistake, it's okay. Just go back to the menu and then just re-enter program 1. So these initial settings here define the program parameters. Typically we leave HB off and HBU at 0. RMPU, or ramp unit, specifies the program runtime units in seconds, minutes, and hours. So for the sake of this purpose, we're going to leave it in minutes. DWLU, it specifies the program dwell time units in seconds, minutes, and hours. Once again, just keep it on minutes. Cyc.N specifies how many times we want for the program to cycle through, such as in thermal aging. And here we are in the segment menu. So each program is divided into segments that determine if the program will raise, lower, or hold the temperature. The different, so let's just go through here. And so we see that the different mechanisms that they have here are ramp rate, to bring the temperature up at a given rate, ramp time, to bring the temperature up within a given time, dwell, to have the system maintain that temperature, step, to set it at a target temperature, call, to reference another program, and end, to end the program. So the first thing in any operation with this furnace is to first vent the system for a couple hours to ensure that the system is purged of any foreign objects or gases. So we're going to set this first segment to dwell, and so set the duration in minutes. Just in case you forget, it'll just pop up for you. So we want for it to dwell for 3 hours. So 3 hours, so 180 minutes. Almost. Okay, and we want for it to use out 1 because out 1 is connected to the argon gas. Everything else should be off. There we go. And so now for the second segment, we want for it to increase its temperature to 930 Celsius within an hour. So we are going to use ramp time. Oh, target temperature. I already did this before. So just change the arrow keys to whatever temperature you need for it to get to. And duration in minutes. So an hour, 60 minutes. And we don't want to use any gas, so I'm just going to set all of them to off. So for this third segment here, we want for it to dwell at this temperature for 3 hours. So make sure you keep it on the dwell. Minutes, 180 minutes. Yeah. And we don't want for it to use any gas. Okay, so for the fourth segment, we're going to use step to bring it down to room temperature. So step, so target temperature, pretty much want it to be about like 20 Celsius. And we don't want for it to use out 1 since it's argon, but we want for it to use out 2 because that is our liquid nitrogen. That'll help cool the system. Everything else should remain off. And then for the 5th segment, it's going to be a dwell segment so that we make sure that the system fully cools down. So we want for it to dwell for 5 hours. So let's get this here. Here we go, 300 minutes. Okay, nice. And we're just gonna leave all of the gases off. No gases need to be on for this one. Okay, now the entire process is done pretty much, so I'm just gonna set the last segment to end. Pretty much just, there are different options here, but essentially just tell the furnace to stop. And you don't need to use any gases. And there we go. Now the entire process is done. So now we're going to set this program to run. So now that we've pretty much finished designing what process we want for the furnace to take, we're just going to, following safety guidelines, just open the furnace and we're going to put our piece of steel inside of there. Probably just put it right there. And then we're going to fully close this. Pardon me, it is a little bit lengthy to close. Yes, you just want to make sure that all of these knobs here are nice and tight so that no heat escapes from this furnace and goes to where it's not intended to. And okay, so let's switch back over to the controller. So now that we finished creating our program and we put our sample in the furnace, we now want to set the furnace to run. So to get it to the run operation, first, let's make sure that we take this off of there and we set it to auto. And then let's put it on to the run. I'm sorry, I missed it the first time. There we go. And so we want for it to run program 1 because that's the one that we made. All of this stuff, stat you keep at no, fast you keep at no, segment duration, no. There you go. And then so now we press this to run. So now we just up here, we want to make sure that we adjust the knob to get it to about 5. Make sure we do it a little bit for the other one. And all right, there you go. So if at any point you want to pause the program, just go back and you press hold right there and it will remain on that segment of your program. If you have any problems with this furnace, make sure that you contact the Department of Material Sciences.